Hi guys, welcome back to our drone channel. Today, after almost a year, we're finally taking a closer look at one of the most popular features ever, the ActiveTrack function of the DJI Air 3S. It is an amazing tool for tracking subjects, but for some reason DJI made it a little tricky to find it in the menu. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to activate it, what you need to watch out for, and all the settings you should know about. And most importantly, why ActiveTrack on the Air 3S is 3 times cooler than on the Mini 4 Pro. So stay tuned, we're getting started right after the intro. This tracking feature combined with obstacle avoidance is absolutely insane. You've got to see this. LiDAR plus visual sensors, the way DJI tuned that system is just genius. Maybe I'll do a short video just on that sometime. But honestly, the tracking performance, it's next level. Get ready, this is gonna be so good. All right, let's jump straight into the tutorial. ActiveTrack is one of the most searched for features on the DJI Air 3 and Air 3S. And that's because, well, DJI made it a little tricky to find it in the menu. Yes, DJI did add a dedicated icon now, so technically there are 2 ways to turn it on. But honestly, it's still not super obvious. Alright, so how do we actually enable ActiveTrack? First method, just tap the little icon on the left side of your screen. When it lights up yellow, you're now in the focus track mode. The drone will automatically detect all trackable objects and mark them with a tiny green plus. Tap the plus and boom, that object is selected. Second method, you can skip the icon step and simply draw a box around the subject you want to track. Once an object is recognized, no matter which method you used, you see some new buttons appear at the bottom of your screen. Now, in this tutorial we are focusing on the ActiveTrack button. If you tap that or press the C1 button on the controller, the mode activates. The menu at the bottom changes and now you see ActiveTrack, a big stop button and POI. On the left side you also get the position radar, which shows where your drone is in relation to the subject. In our example, you see the car in the middle of a small and larger circle, with letters around it. F stands for front, L for left, R for right and B for back. We'll give it a try. First, I'll move the drone to the left side of the car. Let's go for a little ride. You can clearly see that the Air 3S tries to stay perfectly parallel to the car. Now let's move the drone to a spot right in front of the car. I just tap slightly below the F on the radar, still inside the small circle. A green line shows up showing the exact path the drone will take from its current position to the new one. And that line updates in real time while the drone's flying. As you have probably noticed on the position radar, there is an inner circle and an outer circle. Between those 2 circles you can smoothly set follow positions for the drone. That basically allows you to switch between a closer camera angle and a wider, more distant one while you are filming. What radius each of the 2 circles has and how you can change those radii I will show you a little later in the video. For now, let us use this chance to understand the feature a little better. We are going to keep changing positions while driving, so the Air 3S constantly has to readjust. To make it a bit more challenging, we are driving a little faster and kicking up some dust. We start off in the follow behind position, where the drone simply tracks the car from behind and keeps it nicely centered in the frame. After that, we switch over to a side parallel mode, so the Air 3S is flying right next to us while holding the vehicle perfectly steady in view. Next, we set the front spot inside the inner circle, which positions the drone directly in front of the car. Now let us push things a little further and move out to the outer circle. As soon as we make that change, you can see that the distance to the Audi SQ8 becomes much bigger, giving us a wider, more cinematic perspective that feels very different compared to the closer shots inside the inner circle. And finally, let us bring the drone back into the inner circle, this time diagonally behind the vehicle. Pretty cool, right? If you were paying close attention, you probably noticed the small auto button in the top left corner of the position radar.
When we click on it, the button turns blue and a message pops up that says automatic movement enabled. When you activate this feature, the drone will automatically and dynamically move itself to different positions while tracking. So let us take a look at how well that actually works. But be careful, you cannot influence the movement process. At critical positions, you can only turn the function off completely. While it is activated, the position radar will also show you the movement pattern of the Air 3S. But to be completely honest, for me, this has never really worked very well. On top of that, the movement lines, which are now shown in blue, change far too quickly and in a way that does not feel pretty logical at all. Even though you might get some interesting shots out of it, I would personally recommend staying away from this feature for now. But in the end, that is something everybody has to decide for themselves. Now here comes the cool part. The Air 3S does not only have a wide-angle camera, it also has a really awesome 3x tele camera. And here's the plot twist. You can actually use ActiveTrack with this camera as well. And the results are absolutely impressive. You simply switch to the 3x camera while focus track is active, just by clicking on it, and the Air 3S will automatically readjust itself. The way it works is completely identical. There is nothing different you have to take care of compared to the wide-angle camera. Oh, and something I have not even mentioned until now. The obstacle avoidance system is always active. You can see that from the small circle icon at the top of the screen. If it is white, the sensors are running. If it is red, they are turned off. Always keep that in mind. And very important, even though I will show you in a moment how impressive the LiDAR system of the Air 3S actually is, a pilot should never rely only on the obstacle avoidance. Always fly carefully and stay alert. But before we get to that, let me give you a quick idea of what kind of image quality you can get with the 3x tele camera together with ActiveTrack. Here are some really cool shots of the Audi SQ8 from different angles. Absolutely amazing. But that is not all. Tracking people is also possible. As we already know from the Mini 4 Pro and other DJI drones, following a person with the Air 3S works perfectly as well. The function is activated in exactly the same way as with vehicles. Draw a box around the person, click on ActiveTrack and you are ready to go. As you can see, the position radar appears right away in the lower left corner. There is only one small difference. The icon in the middle of the two circles does not show a car, it shows a person instead. Still, things are a little different because the distance between the drone and the person are not the same as in vehicle tracking. Why that is, I will show you in a moment when we take a closer look at the settings. But first, let us see how the Air 3S actually behaves when tracking a person. While I'm walking across the fields, I change the drone's position several times. Here too, it is possible to move smoothly between the inner and the outer radius, to change the position of the drone or even to do all of that at once. No matter what you choose, the flight path is always displayed as a green bar in the position radar. This helps you as a pilot to estimate whether the turning movement of the drone in relation to the subject's motion and the required time could create a problematic situation. As I already mentioned, you should never 100% rely on obstacle avoidance. However, today I cannot show you any crash or near miss examples because the obstacle avoidance on the Air 3S works absolutely flawlessly. Obstacles are detected without any issues. Even situations that seem impossible are managed with precision. Levers and branches are recognized without hesitation, and even if the subject is only partially visible, the drone never loses focus. I am honestly impressed by this technology. Let us take a look at the settings. In this last part of the video, we will dive into the values that can actually be adjusted in ActiveTrack. You might be surprised how many things you can influence. First, you open the Options menu by clicking on the three dots in the top right corner. Then select the Control tab and click on ActiveTrack Settings. This menu is divided into two categories, Person and Vehicles. Let us begin with the Person section. It all starts with the explanation of the circles. Below that, you'll find a slider with two arrows. The left arrow sets the distance of the inner radius and the right arrow sets the distance of the outer radius. For person, the maximum possible outer radius is 20 meters. We'll show you the vehicle section for comparison in a second. The next two values adjust the flight altitude within each radius. Let us set the altitude of the inner radius to 3 meters and the altitude of the outer radius to 6 meters. According to Pythagoras, this means that it is about 5.8 meters away from the subject. Alright, the next setting changes the camera motion. Here you can choose how the drone reacts when it detects and avoids obstacles. Do you want it to move slowly and smoothly or quickly and abruptly? And finally, there is the near ground flight. By default, this is disabled because the risk of collision with other objects increases massively. If you enable it, the drone can fly below 2 meters from the ground when it is following a subject. You can imagine how dangerous that can be, especially during automated flights. Alright, let us now switch to the settings for vehicles. Here you will notice that the options are basically the same. However, the maximum outer radius is much larger, up to 50 meters. Also, the default altitudes for inner and outer radius are different, simply because vehicles are usually bigger than people. Of course, you can adjust those values to fit your own needs. Camera motion works exactly the same way as in the person section, and in the near ground flight setting there is a different threshold. The minimum altitude is set to 6 meters. If you deactivate this, the drone will also fly below the value. And that is pretty much the whole secret. Now it is up to you to put what you have learned into action and create fantastic shots with your car, on your bike or during breathtaking hikes in the mountains. To wrap things up, I just have to show you this absolutely insane stress test of obstacle avoidance while using ActiveTrack. Seriously, watch this closely. I was sweating bullets the whole time and it took everything in me not to take control manually. This is pure madness. Just watch.
So that's pretty much all you need to know about the ActiveTrack on the Air 3S. Tell me in the comments, how do you use ActiveTrack? And of course, what did you think of our little stress test with the Audi SQ8? Pretty decent for a tracking test, right? Quick tip before we wrap this up. If you want that nice bit of motion blur on your follow shots, grab yourself some ND filters. Maybe I'll do a full video on that soon. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel and take your drone out for a proper adventure. See you in the next one, fly safe and have fun!